Hello. Let me start from introducing myself. I'm Maria Dainecker, a senior lecturer of the Department of Foreign Languages of St. Petersburg State Pediatric Medical University. And you? You are going to apply to our university and pass some exams. Oh, I remember the time when I was a candidate to enter the university quite well. It was pretty difficult. The competition was hard, I was very nervous trying to concentrate not to miss anything. But I was lucky with the exam score, so my wish came true. I was admitted to the university. The main goal of the exam you will pass at the Department of Foreign Languages is to assess the level of your knowledge of English. So, you have to demonstrate your ability to study in English. You have to communicate in both oral and written forms. So, let me give English proficiency level description. You have to understand the main idea of a commonplace conversation in English, though not in every detail, but you should produce English well enough to take part if spoken to carefully. You can also initiate conversation by asking questions on a range of everyday topics and can perform most everyday social and practical functions well enough to survive comfortably. For example, buying things in shops or going to doctors. In reading, you can grasp the full meaning, including details of simple, authentic texts, for example, instructions on a packet, with the exception of a few of the less common words. It goes without saying that you have to understand the sense of basic grammar structures. In writing, you are able to write coherent short compositions using simple but varied structures correctly on a variety of non-specific topics. For example, telling stories, some personal letters, giving and explaining your opinion. While listening, you should understand most questions and conversations on familiar topics spoken distinctively and at normal speed. In speaking, you should speak on most daily speaking topics. You can also use academic language and read simple printed material within a familiar context. You can read uncomplicated prose on familiar subjects in frequently used sentence patterns. And you are able to participate quite effectively in social and academic conversations. In reading, you have to understand simple material, messages, greetings, popular advertising, letters, invitations, and you are able to guess at unfamiliar vocabulary if highly contextualized. Sometimes you may have to read material several times, and maybe you may need some clarification, but it's okay. In writing, you are able to compose short paragraphs or take simple notes on familiar topics. You have to demonstrate evidence of good control of basic sentence constructions and inflections, for example, subject and verb agreement. And of course, don't forget about syntactic constructions in present, past, and future tenses, though some mistakes may occasionally occur. So, your vocabulary should include from 1,500 to 2,000 words. So, the level of your English should be strong enough to make a further step to study medical literature and to work with medical documentation. According to the description given by me, you can easily understand that this is A2 or pre-intermediate level. What about the exam structure? It includes two main points: a text and a short story about yourself, which of course can be prepared beforehand. Now I'm going to give you an example of an exam text that you have to read, to retell, and to answer some questions about it. The title of the text is Rabies. Rabies is caused by a virus which is present in the saliva of affected animal, mainly the dog. Rabies is transmitted through bites and even licks if the skin surface is open with a scratch, wound or sore. The virus travels to the brain and symptoms begin 4-8 weeks after the bite. Sometimes there may be a delay of over 2 years. The disease is always fatal, so every effort should be made to prevent it. The pet dog should be protected against rabies by injections. However, one has no control over stray dogs. It is important to recognize a rabid animal. It may go off its food completely, behave in a strange manner, or later run around biting people without any provocation. It has difficulty in swallowing, dribbles saliva all over, and foams at the mouth. The name hydrophobia is given to the disease because the animal cannot swallow and even may start convulsing at the sight of water. In dumb rabies, the animal is quiet and it appears as if a bone has got stuck in its mouth. If you try to remove the bone with your hand, the dog may bite you. The wound should be washed thoroughly with soap and water, and the dog should be tied and observed for 4-5 days. If it seems to be quite well at the end of this time, it can be considered healthy. You should consult a doctor immediately after a dog's bite. All hospital casualty departments have anti-rabies vaccine and know the indications, doses, and so on. Bites on head, face, and neck should be treated with anti-rabies vaccine even while the dog is being watched. The treatment can be stopped after 4 days if the dog appears normal and healthy. What questions can be asked after this text? Why is rabies spread with animal bites? Number 2. What organ of the body gets affected with it? Number 3. What time after the bite do symptoms begin? Number 4. Do people get well again if they have been infected with rabies? 5. What symptoms does a dog with rabies have? 6. Can you protect your pet dog from catching rabies? How can it be achieved? Number 7. What are the signs of dumb rabies? And the last one, what can a person try and do after a bite to protect himself? So all the information is in the text, and it is not difficult, but of course it requires some knowledge. I would like to wish you good luck and hope that you will pass your exam successfully. See you. Goodbye.